Five friends went to a basketball game. Hours later, they disappeared. Months later, four would be found dead. One would never be seen again. And nearly 50 years later, nobody can explain what happened. Because this wasn't supposed to happen. They weren't criminals. They weren't running away. They were simply driving home. Or at least they should have been. Instead, their car ended up somewhere it never should have been. And what investigators found inside that car made no sense. This is the mystery of the Yuba County Five. February 24th, 1978. Five friends from Yuba County drove to a college basketball game. For them, it was supposed to be an ordinary night. The game ended. The friends left the arena. Then they stopped at a convenience store. They bought snacks. Witnesses saw them smiling. Nothing seemed unusual. Nobody knew they were being seen for the last time. By morning, none of them had returned home. Families started calling each other. No one had heard from the five men. Then the search began. And investigators quickly discovered something strange. The route home was simple. Yet somehow, they had driven in the opposite direction. The search continued for days. Then, nearly a week later, someone found the car. It wasn't near their homes. It wasn't near the basketball arena. It was deep inside the Plumas National Forest. More than 50 miles from where they should have been. And that's when the mystery truly began. The car wasn't wrecked. It wasn't buried. And it wasn't stuck. Investigators believed the car could still be driven. The keys were gone. The men were gone. But the car itself was perfectly usable. So why leave it behind? That question has never been answered. The area was freezing. Walking away from shelter could be deadly. Yet that's exactly what happened. The five friends left the car and began walking. No one knows why. No one knows what they were thinking. And no one knows what they expected to find. But investigators later uncovered something disturbing. A witness had reported seeing lights on a mountain road. Not one light. Several. The witness also claimed he saw people. And if that account was true, the mystery became even stranger. Search teams followed every lead. For weeks, they found nothing. Then the snow started melting. And the mountain finally gave up its secrets. The first body was found. Then another. The mystery was getting darker. The bodies were far from the car. Much farther than investigators expected. And then came the strangest discovery. A remote Forest Service trailer. Hidden deep in the mountains. Inside, someone had clearly been living there. There were blankets. Food. Matches. Everything needed to survive. And inside the trailer, investigators found Ted Wire. He was dead. But that's not what shocked investigators. According to investigators, Ted may have survived for weeks. Possibly months. And during all that time, food remained untouched. Thousands of calories. Within arm's reach. Yet most of it was never used. Why? Investigators couldn't explain it. And they weren't done asking questions. Because one man was still missing. Gary Mathias. The only member of the group never found. And his disappearance may be the biggest mystery of all. Gary Mathias was different from the others. Much different. Unlike the rest of the group, Gary had military experience. He knew how to survive outdoors. He knew how to find shelter. And he understood cold weather better than most. Which raises an important question. If anyone could have helped the group survive, it was Gary. And yet, he vanished completely. No body was ever found. No confirmed sighting. No explanation. Just silence. Some investigators believe Gary reached the trailer and may have helped keep Ted alive. But if that's true, where did Gary go? That question remains unanswered. Over the years, many theories have emerged. Some are simple. Others are much harder to believe. The most common theory is that they got lost. A wrong turn. A simple mistake. One bad decision that changed everything. But many people aren't convinced. Because the evidence doesn't fully fit. Why abandon a working car? Why leave shelter behind? Why walk deeper into danger? And why did Gary disappear completely? Another theory suggests the group became frightened. Not lost. Not confused. But afraid. Afraid of something we may never know. There is one final detail investigators could never fully explain. A man later came forward with a strange story. He claimed he had been driving through the mountains that same night. Then his vehicle became stuck. And while waiting for help, he said he saw something unusual. Lights. Several lights. Not far from where the 5 friends would later disappear. Then he claimed he saw people. Several people. Standing beside what appeared to be a truck. Investigators could never verify the story. But they could never completely dismiss it either. And that leaves one haunting possibility. Maybe the 5 men weren't alone that night. Almost 50 years later, the questions remain. Why did they drive into the mountains? Why leave a working vehicle behind? Why walk for miles through freezing wilderness? Why ignore supplies that could save their lives? And what happened to Gary Mathias? The only member of the group who was never found. Every answer creates another question. And every clue seems to lead nowhere. That's what makes this case so unsettling. Not what we know, but what we don't. 5 friends went to a basketball game. They should have gone home. Instead, they vanished into the mountains. 4 were found dead. 1 was never seen again. And nearly half a century later, nobody knows why. What do you think happened to the Yuba County Five? Let us know in the comments. And remember, every mystery leaves a clue. We follow them all. This is NoirClue.